You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole and I'm your host. The homies Ray, Glen, and Mo are out. So, you got me as your host, but I'm not alone. I have friend of the show, CWall Sports Entertainment's Candi Waller on. What's going on, Candi?
Hey, what is up? Thanks for having me on.
I'm glad to have you on, Candi. You know it's time to get real when it's me and you. We gotta get real. In this training camp, you was out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? You still are doing it. I don't use past tense. You still are doing it. So first off, did you enjoy yourself last week was the first week of training camp. Did you enjoy yourself?
I have been enjoying myself. I think I was probably enjoying myself a lot more last week than this week. I think it got real this week.
What I hear.
Yeah, it got real this week. And so it's been fun. It's been interesting. I think there was some concern about fans not being there, but fans have been coming out. I know it was only like a small set of fans that were, I think it was only season ticket holders, but people have been coming out and have been engaging with the team and watching the practices. So it's been really cool.
Cool. That's good. I'm glad fans are coming out, man. This team needs the fans for it to do what they want to do going into this season. Yeah. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrything. Also, tweet us at ABG_Errrything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything, and like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. I got tongue-tied. I'm sorry. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel as well. Hey, it's time for the pregame. Hey, we here with Candi, so we're going to talk training camp. We want to know about training camp news. We want to know what's going down at camp. So, Candi, like I mentioned, last week was the start of training camp. I've heard a lot of smoke about Carson Wentz, but I want to get it from you. How has the quarterback look? How has Carson Wentz look?
I mean, today was day 6. Today was the first day in pads. And the word I used before I left camp today when I was talking with some of, our other media colleagues was this Carson is just really inconsistent. When he's on, he's on. Like, ooh, all right. Okay. We ready.
Okay.
And when he's not, he's just not. And so that's all I have with Carson. I mean, let me be clear. He has all of the poise and the mechanics and the look and all of that. He is a veteran quarterback.
Gotcha.
He is a NFL quarterback. Like, it is not like he not new to this at all. Like, just in stature and just in poise.
He do this.
And when he walks into, he got an air about him. He's been here before. He get it. And so. And I like that. I really like that about Carson. And overall, I like Carson. Carson. Yeah. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a nice guy. I have not seen anything, of course, not of yet, when they were talking about lack of leadership abilities and all that. I'm not seeing any of that. But I think we're definitely sensing the newness of the getting, used to a new playbook.
Yeah. So do you think fans should be concerned with, like, there was a talk Steve threw like 3 interceptions on Monday? Should fans be concerned with some of his training camp struggles?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
I think, see how this first couple of preseason games go. I was talking to a couple of folks that covered him in Philly as well. And some of our media colleagues was like, anybody in Philly? Because they've been talking, they'll tell you Carson isn't the best, like he will alarm you in practice. Like, what was that? Yeah. And game day, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So that's just what I'm hoping for right now. I was the one, hey, listen, you know me, anything is liable to come out of my mouth. And I was like, can they take a timeout? Are you allowed to take a timeout in practice? Because Ron need to talk to the people. He need to talk to them real quick because this is not going well. Today was a little bit better, but it was still like, don't think you're supposed to make that mistake.
Yeah, it's wild because I think I had somebody tweet me because once I got they were there and they weren't there, but they they got the report and they tweeted something and I was like, what you just said, I was like, yeah, Carson doesn't rub me as a practice quarterback. He rubs me as a freestyle quarterback. I think in games it's totally different. He goes off instinct.
Right.
He seems like an instinctive quarterback. So in games, I think you will be alarmed in practice, but I do think in games you kind of get that playmaking ability because he's a playmaker. I mean, that's what he was in Philadelphia. I can't go off for the Indy because he was utilized differently in Indy.
Right.
He was handing the football off to Jonathan Taylor a lot, and they minimized some of those mistakes, right? Because they didn't want a quarterback to throw a lot of interceptions. I'm interested to know how they're going to utilize him here because Carson when you're a freestyle playmaking quarterback, you do throw you do throw picks. You're just hoping that you make a lot of wild plays in the process. So I don't know. It depends where Carson's at in his career. Is Carson that quarterback in Philadelphia who can win you football games on a consistent level? Or is he a quarterback where you have to manage in terms of turning the football over? You have to manage it because this defense from we're going off of last season, this defense isn't a defense that can kind of overcome turnovers. They're not that defense. So you got to play hand in hand. So it's going to be interesting. I'm a Carson Wentz believer, so I'm not going to be like that person who's negative. I believe in Carson Wentz. I don't think I'm with you. I don't think people should really, go hard at the turnovers. At camp. I will say though, with the caveat of how are you going to utilize Carson Wentz though? Like it's a problem if you want him to throw the ball 50 times a game. It can be a problem. Like if you're worried about turnovers. If you're going to play him in a way of a balanced offense where he's not, when you're limiting his turnover capability, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Right. I totally agree. And that was one of the things that I have just been mulling over the last couple of days. Because you know how it is early in camp. Defense gonna beast out. Defense gonna beast out off the break.
Everybody beast out.
Yeah. They beast out. Then it was like the offense had a great day. Like even Terry McLaurin was over there talking trash because the offense was having a great day. Then it was like everybody came back this week and it's like quiet. Like what's happening out here? So I'm just wondering. It's like and we've had conversations about Scott Turner and all of that before, and so it really is one of those things where how are they going to utilize him? Are they going to try to force Carson to play a certain way or force him to be into Scott Turner's system or the team system, or are they going to leverage his strengths? So that it minimizes him having to throw, to your point, 50 times a game. Like that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, his strength is he's a playmaking quarterback. I'll give him that. He does like to make plays. Sometimes it's to the detriment of the team because he holds the football, he tries to make a play. Right. And things happen with him. So those type of you have to be a particular type of game caller to to utilize his skill set. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. And to your point, you made a valid point. It's just that is Scott Turner going to do what he does best? And I would say he probably will to a certain extent because, Coach Rivera has always talked about having that big quarterback like Cam Newton. He's comfortable with Cam. I mean, they're two different animals in terms of, what Cam does as a running quarterback and Carson. But Carson's mobile. Carson's very mobile.
Yes.
He just gets hurt. So he gets hurt a lot and easier than Cam. He gets hurt easier than Cam. I mean, younger Cam or whatever you want to call it, he gets hurt easier. So I just think that it can work out. I don't think there should be any issues with Carson in camp. I just think that he's probably trying things out. On Twitter, the homie Cameron I posed out on Twitter and on other social media platforms. I asked the question: should fans be concerned with some of the Wentz camp struggles? And Cameron tweeted, not one bit only. The only time will tell come preseason and the regular season. So yeah, I'm with him. I'm like, I feel like wait till preseason, wait till regular season. Because to me, iron sharpens iron. It's hard to even really, to your point, like it's hard to tell in camp who's ahead of who, offense or defense. Right. It's because you don't know, because this is the question. You don't know if the offense is good and you don't know if the defense is good. So you don't know, like if the offense is torching the defense, right? You're like, dang, the offense was some trash last year, so the defense must not really be good. Or, back in, like, they added all these weapons and made the offense going to be lit. And on the back end, when the defense look good, you be like, yo, this offense got a lot of talent. Defense shutting them down. So you're like, now you're thinking like, oh, yo, this defense may be legit. So you don't really know, right? Because you got to see against other competition to kind of get the idea of, all right, what I saw could be legit. You know what I'm saying? So
right. That's exactly right. And it's like, I didn't. Well, here's one thing I want to go back to, like with the offense and it relating for sure to Carson Wentz and knowing that he's injury prone. Yeah. What I definitely respect about what Ron Rivera and them are already doing, they saw early some deficiencies with O-line because of certain injuries and everything like that, and they already added depth to the O-line. So I'm like, okay, all right, y'all are on it. You on it early. Like, this is a problem. Let's try to, already get, try to close these gaps here, because they're already taking it very seriously that Carson needs protection for certain, because he's absolutely injury prone. The comment about the weapons, I think he got them there.
He got weapons.
He got weapons. They got a good thing going with that running back tandem. I'm really, really getting into the tight ends. I want to see more. Of course, we know Logan Thomas is out with the injury. John Bates has been injured, so he's been dealing with the injury, working on the side.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know. Okay.
But the rookie.
Oh, Turner.
Cole Turner.
Turner.
And there's another one. I think his name was Cole. There's a lot of Coles on this team. There's a lot of players named Cole. But I think this one is Cole Hodges. He's an undrafted free agent. I could be saying this, but I should have one of the rosters.
I think he's undrafted. I don't think Hodges got drafted.
He's actually taller than Cole Turner, because Cole Turner is coming in at like 6'6", and Hodges is like 6'8".
Okay.
And you can tell, but they're rookies, right? They're getting into it. They're getting into it. And of course, the wide receivers, we know that they have Curtis Samuel on a plan. On a plan. So let's just trust Ron. I'm
gonna talk to you about Curtis.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
I'm gonna talk to you about Curtis. Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of good things from Diami. Cam Sims is being solid. I ain't even got to mention Terry McLaurin, because we already know the deal there. Jahan Dotson, super professional, good kid, coming in, ready to roll. So they loading up on the weapons for certain. But it's just the connectivity. Now, one of the things that I actually was thinking about today was, when was the last time the team had, I guess it was Alex Smith, right? Like a veteran
quarterback,
NFL quarterback.
Oh, it's definitely Alex Smith.
Right?
Yeah, definitely Alex
Smith.
So
I'm like, they got to get used to that again. Like, they just got to get the flow together. They got to get the flow together. They got to be able to read each other a little bit better, because they've been off.
Of having a vet? I mean, yeah, they got to get a flow. I feel like, only time will tell. I'm with you. Like, I'm all about this Scott Turner thing. So we'll see. Like, I feel like there's no excuse now, because this kid, Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate in Philadelphia. He had a great year. I know people keep talking about what happened with the last game against Jacksonville, and he played horribly. But in terms of the season, man, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, man, that's good. That's not bad.
Very good.
That's not bad, man. Like, we got to stop talking about it like it was bad. Now, granted, the team wasn't built around him, which I give the coach did a good job of how they coached that team up around him. Like, you had, and Jonathan Taylor's one of the best running backs in football. Like, I get it. Like, the way they played their team, and they played a run style team game, and then play action off of that. But still, 33 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's good. I don't care. It's still good.
Yeah, sure.
So you're going to have to learn from how they utilize them. And like you said, utilize him to the best of his ability. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the best season he's had in a long time, regardless of whatever. That was the best season he had in a long time. So, yeah, I just think that, when it comes to camp, like, that's what the goal should be for the offense. So back to you, harped on what you said, man. Like, do what he does best. Don't try to make him be something that he's not. That he tends to try to make special plays because he wants to win so badly, and he wants to play so hard. but kind of try to contain that, find a way to contain that and nurture that to a point where it doesn't hurt you or hinder you. But that's coaching. You know what I'm saying? That's coaching, and that's something that the organization is going to have to do. I think you were talking about Curtis Hodges. That's what it's Curtis Hodges.
It's Curtis. I was about to say
Hodges.
it's Cole. Too many Coles. I just like 3 of them. Cole.
Yeah, you talking about Curtis. So what?
Curtis.
Yeah. So what are your opinions on the defense, and who stood out to you on defense?
So on defense, it's so funny because Montez Sweat doesn't talk a lot any other time, but he has been one of the loudest mouths on the field.
Okay, that's good. I mean, feel himself. I like that.
He absolutely is. Like he is. I'm like, oh, wait, everybody, hold on. Who is that? Is that Montez over there talking? Yeah, he feeling it. He feeling it already. And it actually in the press conference, I can't remember who asked, but Antonio Gibson was asked like who on the defense is doing the most trash talking, and he said, last year it was Tim. So I guess he's talking about Tim. He said he's not here anymore. So Tim Settle. It
was who? Was Settle talking?
He said Tim. He said so. He was like Tim. He not here no more. But So I guess he's talking about Tim Settle. He was like, but this year it's got to be Tez. Yeah, Montez is out there for real. But
like that, man. But dogs like that, man.
He for sure. And I'm gonna tell you, Coach Chris Harris, the defensive backs coach.
Everybody talking about him, man.
He is out there every play talking trash, and he was like going for real. It's he ready. He ready. Yeah. And so he's ready. He ready. His defensive backs, I don't know if you were able, maybe you did, was able to see my interview with Cameron Curl. And he even kind of, was short, quick, to the point, but he had to kind of smirk a little bit, like we flying all around. And I'm like, yeah, you are. They're everywhere. They have their eyes everywhere. They are so locked in on the player. They're reading every single quarterback. Now, it's good or bad, but they are anticipating the play. And that is something that I'm like, yo. And you really had to take a look at it. If you look at the whole defense on paper, like we said this last year, though, right? They should have performed way higher. But seriously, like they absolutely need to be who they are supposed to be. Like be who you are on paper. Because if that is the case, then they're going to have an extraordinary season because they're all feeding off of each other's energy. The defensive line to the linebackers to the DBs, but the DBs are the ones that are just they waiting for anything in the air to come flying their way, and they shutting it down so far.
So you would say that the coaching style of Chris Harris, he's bringing that energy to the team, and they vibing it like those secondary dudes. They vibing it
every day. The entire practice, like he doesn't let up. He does not let up. He's not letting up, and he ready the whole entire time.
I love it.
And they're feeding off, and so are they. As a result of him being that way, they are all that way. I'm talking about first team, second team, third team. That's all you hear. And Montez.
That's great.
The DBs
and Montez. I'm loving it, man. Like they need that energy, man. You gotta have swag when you play this game, man, and you gotta play it like you believe that you great. You can't just play it like you average. You gotta talk it like you great. I like it. I like that. So all right, it's a kid that needed some confidence. And last year wasn't a good rookie season for him, but that linebacker, Jamin Davis, man, how is he looking?
Jamin is looking poised. I can tell they're still trying to figure out between him and Cole, but they're building a really solid linebacker duo and tandem overall as leaders in that position group and really shutting down that middle and that outside. I've enjoyed watching how he is on the outside versus how he is in the middle as a middle linebacker. I've seen that development for certain. He's super nice. He's a really nice kid. He's really super nice.
I mean, I think so. I root for that kid.
Yeah, he's really nice. But it goes back to something I think you said a while ago. It's like, yo, I don't mind you being nice, but just don't be nice on game day.
Yeah, it's something.
And so I, want him to get into that
Be a dog, man.
Into that level of his personality. Right. You in the NFL, and I know there was quotes in other interviews that he said, last year humbled him. Because I'm like, it's a different ball game in the NFL. It's very different. And so I can see that humbling him for certain.
Yeah, he should be, definitely be humbled.
Cole Holcomb lit though.
Huh?
He lit. He kind of like
so he looking like I don't got like this is the thing. I expect him to play well. I have a reason why I expect him to play well. I think he's going to play well. Like I know a lot of people I don't question Cole Holcomb. I like Jamin too. I think Jamin's wasn't utilized correctly. That's a whole different argument.
A whole different
That's why I feel like that's why I don't get on Jamin Davis. I feel like y'all tried to make him something that he wasn't, and you should have utilized him to his strengths, and then kind of cultivated that to a point, and then teach him how to play the position a little bit better. Then he would have been all right. He would have had a better rookie year. But that's neither here nor there. Holcomb, I know that Holcomb is a tackling machine. He was a tackling machine in college in North Carolina. He's got speed. He's got physical tools. I'm confident that he'll play middle linebacker at a high level. Like I'm not gonna say Pro Bowl or whatever, but he won't be somebody you got to worry about. I think you saw him towards the end of the season last year. The pick 6 against the Cowboys. Some of his highlights along when he blew up Zeke blitzing, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has the physicality, he's there. Like, if you long as you got 2 defensive tackles that can hold bodies off of him, like I feel like he can read and react. I'm not concerned about Cole Holcomb at the smallest. I think he's gonna be fine at linebacker. My issue with Jamin, not issue with Jamin. I think that do I have the confidence for this staff to put Jamin in the position to be successful, because his tools are crazy. Like if you told me you're an outside linebacker to which you like and who can cover, because he can cover. It's not like he get lost. He can cover. He's around the ball football. Yeah, runs about a 4.3. He has to get a little bigger, but he's a rookie. It is what it is. His tackle ain't the worst. He tackles fine. He's had some highlight hits. So when you look at that, he has all the tool sets to be productive. You got 4.3 speed. Blitz some more. There's a lot of things you can do with him. I think that if he's humbled and trying to learn the position even more, great for him. I think he can do some special things, but also, coaching staff, put that man in the position to be successful, because he has the skill sets to do some damage. You know what I mean?
Definitely have it. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it. I think last year I was still trying to see it. Like I don't.
Oh, you ain't see it last year? I saw it.
I think it was how they were utilizing him. Like I really had to go back into the crazy and like see how he was utilized in college and really understand his athletic ability.
Yeah, because it's freakish.
And that's when I realized, I'm like, they're not using him the right way. The way they're using him, that's actually where he's not good.
Yeah, I agree. Like you should, like there's so
right. So,
but like I would have baptized him by fire. He would be a type like I wouldn't have worried about who was the linebacker last year, Bostic. Like, I wouldn't have really worried. I mean, especially when the season started off bad. I wouldn't have worried about Bostic. I would have played Jamin and like, hey, you gonna learn.
Yep.
If you're giving up big plays, you're gonna learn. You're gonna get better. You're gonna learn, because the skill set is too real. Like I mean, like the physical tool set is too real. Like. It is elite physical skill set. Like don't get it twisted. It's an elite physical skill set.
You use the word
and
freakish.
The thing about
he is for sure. He's freakish.
No, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you just said it a moment ago. The word you used is freakish.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's insanely fast.
Yes. It's crazy. Like you gotta utilize that. So I feel like utilize that correctly. He should pan out. At least, I mean, I don't think he'd be a bust, but at least he should be a good player, like a really good player in the NFL. Like I won't go as far as to say Pro Bowl. I think he has Pro Bowl talent. Don't get it twisted, but I do think he should be a player that we should be talking about. Like, oh, Jamin balling. You know what I mean? Right. He balling. Like he should be a mainstay. But we'll see, man. Like I'm really I'm hoping for that kid, man. I really am. So, but you mentioned a player, Curtis Samuels. Like we ain't really go into Curtis, you know what I'm saying? But, I've heard that Curtis is hurt again. So I'm going to ask you, what's going on with Mr. Curtis Samuel?
You know what's crazy? So last week, was it the day No, it wasn't the day the offense had a really good day. The offense had a good day 3. So that was Friday. They were getting blasted on day 2. Day 1 was like whatever. Day 2 was not that good. He didn't practice day 3, but it was on day 2. Yeah. So even though it wasn't the best day, where they lined up Terry, Curtis, and Jahan. They smoked everybody. Like, I've been talking about this moment.
They smoked them all? They smoked them?
I'm like, yo, if Ron ever puts all 3 of them out there at the same time on the field, no, he's trying to win the game. He is absolutely told you that your defensive backs are trash. And he's putting his 3 fastest men out there.
Wait. What did I know what Terry can do. I know what Jahan can do. What did Curtis do? Like, the Curtis, like, this is a go route? This like a go route? Yeah, he can do that. He can do a go route. Yeah, he's fast. He can do a go route.
And they just took off. It was like, of course, at the snap. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, if they ever do that to anybody in a game,
Terry, I mean, Jahan, Curtis fast as hell. Like,
I ain't seen him since. And that was the last time I saw him on the field. I was like, oh man.
Terrible, man. That dude.
I was like, oh my goodness. But they had him at the podium, right? So he talked to the press the other day, but he's been on the side field, but he spends a lot of time. I mean, they all spend time with each other, but if you look off to the side, sometimes you will see Curtis, Terry, and Jahan. The 3 of them are together. The 3 of them are talking. They're walking. They're talking. They're doing whatever. But Curtis is not practiced. Now, this is supposedly a part of a precautionary plan so that they don't do what they did last year. But my challenge last year, and I think we talked about this a bit last year, was that the reality was Curtis was hurt. Curtis was hurt. He probably should have been put on IR off the break. Yeah, he should have been.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was hurt. And it's just, he looks happy. He looks like he's fine. He looks like, so it's like, okay, I want to believe that this is precautionary, but I also told myself yesterday, like, Curtis Samuel better be practicing in pads tomorrow. And today, he wasn't. He was not practicing in pads.
Oh, well, that man hurt.
Yeah.
He hurt. I mean, he hurt. It is what it is. I mean,
he took off. I mean, I was like, yo, if they ever do that in the game, just know Ron do not care about your defense. He don't care about your team. He don't care about you. He don't care about nothing.
Wait a minute. All right, how's my man Diami look?
Diami's doing well. Now you have to remember, I'm gonna tell you what this is probably
I love Diami, dog.
Not fair, but it's fair because Sam Howell was his quarterback.
Oh, he killed him with Sam, isn't he? I knew he would. I knew he would kill. I knew that's good for him, man. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I think that's good for him because once he gets into the game, like, he's gonna have all that confidence because he getting touches. Because like you said, Sam Howell, not Sam Howell. We'll talk about him too because I've heard stories about him. But that he's gotten so much confidence in practice and in preseason is gonna be good for him too. Yeah, he's gonna get so many touches because, again, like you said, they have natural chemistry. So when he gets in a game, he's gonna eat. Like, it ain't gonna be because and also Carson's a good fit for him because Carson throws jump balls.
Absolutely.
Anywhere. Carson throws the ball up a lot, so he just throws the ball up. So he's gonna give Diami an opportunity to make a play. I think this is great. I think this is great. I'm glad to hear about that Diami because I heard he mauled somebody. He mauled somebody at camp.
Yeah, he's been doing that though.
On a consistent level. I heard he mauled. Was it Fuller? He mauled. I heard he mauled Fuller.
Yeah. I mean, I want to.
He's crazy, man. What's up, man?
But he looks comfortable. He looks confident. I'm gonna tell you who somebody else that keeps coming up. He just won't go away. It's Cam Sims.
Oh, do we really?
Cam Sims. I mean, he's still showing that he's.
I need to stop hating on Cam Sims. Let me stop hating because
I mean,
he balling out, man.
Those are the ones right there. I feel like who else? And every time I see him, I'm not trying to like laugh at him, but I'd be like, every time I turn around, Dax Milne.
Oh,
number
God.
15. Dax Milne.
Man. He's trendy. Everybody
love Dax Milne.
Everybody gotta love him, man.
They love Dax Milne. They love.
He's cool for the culture now. He's cool for the culture right now. Everybody love Dax. He's cool for the culture.
Everybody love Dax. Okay. Cool. And I mean, he all right. It's cool.
Everybody love him now. He's a whole different angle right now, man. Was he balling?
Yeah, he's doing well. But that's what I'm saying. It's like they'll be doing well, and then they'll get into 11 and 11, and then it'll just fall apart. The last.
That's right. They should be, because now they're not. See what I'm talking about? Yes, that's right. They shouldn't be good. They should be good. They should be balling 11-11. That's the problem. See, that's why I don't like one-on-one drills. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate one-on-one drills. It's stupid. They're dumb. Like, I'll be real with you, because you don't really get one-on-one. Like, you don't.
They did one-on-one drills, and I didn't even look. I went to watch the offensive line, defensive line.
Red zone stuff. I need to see you in the middle of the field. That's good for situational football, but even that's like a little whatever, because you're not going to even get real defenses in practice on red zone to me. Like, but I do think that, like, 11-on-11 to a certain extent is good. So you don't ball out on 11-on-11. That bothers me, like, because that's a real football. That's more of a real football game or a simulated football experience, right?
Yeah.
That's why I like scrimmages and I like scrimmages in preseason games. Like, that's why I tell folks all the time, I don't like training camp hype, because it bothers me. Like, I don't think that it's real. Like, training camp hype isn't real. Like, what I mean by that is, like, when you tell me a player is good or this, that, he killing, like, there's levels to it. Like, unless you're like doing stuff like Terry, like we talking about like Terry. Yeah. Like, I think offensively speaking, for a wide receiver, you could pretty much tell if he's a dog. Like, a wide receiver, you can pretty much tell. I do agree with that. Like, when you hear Jahan Dotson, he killing, I think you get a good idea if he's really good or not. Scary Terry, you already knew as a rookie the stuff he was doing against starters, as getting out of running good routes, beating good corners one-on-one. That's a thing that's always gonna be something. But when we talk about like defensive players, running backs, I'm like, yo, you can't. Nah, it's different. Like, it's different. Offensive linemen, it's different. It's all different. Like, you gotta play against somebody. Like, you gotta play against somebody that don't know you. Like, I can play against my brother. Like, my brother, like if I play ball, my brother, like basketball against my brother, right? My brother gonna know, like, pretty much gonna know my stuff because he's used to doing it, or vice versa. So I'm gonna find a way, because I'm used to him. I can be able to stop him or whatever. But if I play against somebody I don't know, they new to me. I could look at tape, but there's certain things tendencies I won't know off the jump, because I gotta experience you. I gotta see you. I gotta know you. I gotta feel you. I gotta know, all right, you gonna do this, all right, whatever. Like, I gotta be around you. So, like, that's why I like preseason, to get a good gist of it. But I'm going on my tangent. I always do this stuff. I can't preseason.
No, you're right, because, like, to your point, I really want to see. I hope the starters play in the preseason.
Me too, man.
I absolutely think the starters need to play in preseason. Everybody knows it's a risk. Every game is a risk. Every time you step on the field, it's a risk. But I do think they need to play in preseason. They do. Especially with Carson, a new quarterback.
He gotta play.
Different new pieces.
He gotta play.
He gotta play. I think he needs to play.
So, real quick, who looked better to you, Sam Howell or Heinicke?
Honestly, I definitely, I kind of said this cryptically on Twitter, because, I don't be tweeting like that, because I be watching and I be trying to pay attention.
Yeah, of course.
It's really clear that, I know Ron said QB1 is Wentz and 2 is Heinicke and 3 is Sam, but Sam is making a strong case to be QB2. And it's not that Taylor is not doing well. I mean, like I said, they've all had their share, at least in the last couple of days, of like, what the heck was that?
Then let me ask this way then for you then. We know Wentz is number one, but who looked the best? Like, who really looked the best?
To me, so far, it has been Sam.
Ooh, okay. I like the realness. That's what I want to hear. Okay.
I told you earlier today.
He looked best. He looked the best. Oh, okay.
Sam was incredibly accurate.
A
few days last week, and I was like,
how was it?
Now, of course, people will say, all right, well, that's on the third team defense, but hey, listen, accuracy is accuracy too.
This is facts.
Accuracy.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is, he's been incredibly more accurate.
More accurate, and you trying, so basically saying like Wentz arm strength like that, but he hasn't been accurate.
Absolutely like that, but just make it consistent. And sometimes when he does wonderful things, you're like, whoa, and he'd be like, what was that? And Taylor is Taylor. We know Taylor, but his arm strength is not there.
It ain't there. So How's arm strength is NFL good?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yep.
Okay, now see, this is good to know. So
you
see, I like getting these little gems. This is what I'm talking about. So you like how? Okay, how look? He looked the part. You saying he looked the part? He looked the part.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. So how? Okay, so preseason gonna show a lot to see.
Preseason gonna show a lot.
Okay.
And I think that's fair. What I mean? I think that's fair. And I think that's what needs to be seen. That's how I feel about it. Like, get that ball out there. That's why they gotta play. I don't feel like this. I mean, there are some people that are the ones. I'm not saying that he's coming for Carson's position.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Yeah, I know
not that. Ain't nobody coming for Terry's position. Yeah, Jonathan Allen out there doing what he does. Deron, we got it. But still, just the game tempo, game speed, like you were saying a moment ago, against another team. I need to see what this looks like against another team. I need to see what this offensive line looks like, because I'm gonna tell you, while they were getting dogged last week, the offensive line, I'm gonna tell you, Charles Leno showing up, of course.
Okay.
Sam Cosmi. Remember, I was on my Sam Cosmi.
Yeah, he was all right though. He was all right
last year.
Yeah.
I think Taz is talking too much for Sam. He's sick of Taz talking.
Oh, he got him. Oh, he was getting him.
They playing.
And
that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, if he's gonna go up against somebody, that's only gonna make it better.
Yeah, I agree. And Cosmi, I'm gonna keep Cosmi, to me, was good. So surprisingly good to me last year, because I didn't, I was like, all right, he ain't gonna be all right. Why Morgan Moses? I like Morgan Moses, but
my person.
Yeah, but he was, but real talk, he was good. Like, I can't even knock that. I give Ron them credit for that draft. I don't give draft pick. I clown a lot of Ron for his draft picks, but Cosmi was a good one.
He did good with that. They did excellent with Sam Cosmi, but I definitely want to see in game. I need to see the running backs, because I need to believe what I'm saying. And I've mentioned to you Brian Robinson, and I'm telling you, this kid is legit. Yeah. But I need to see it to make sure I'm not tripping.
I want to see it too.
To see that.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him too, because I mean, we know we got with Antonio Gibson. You know what I'm saying? I think we know we got. You got a guy who can make the big play. Could be really still learning to play running back. Just tends to fumble.
He tends to fumble. He looks like he's gotten bigger. And
see, I don't like that.
When they put him in position to like block, or he got to block.
I know he's blocking like a beast. I don't like them getting bigger. Like, see, I feel like he can lose some weight. Like, he can go back to being like that shifty. Like, you got Robinson. Let Robinson be the dude. Let Robinson be that type of, like, that hammer. Like, used to be a wide receiver, bruh. Like, used to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, he don't look like that no more.
Yeah, I think he need to lose something. Like, lose something. Lose me like 2015.
Who else we got to talk about? Oh, we talked about everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you this question. All right, I'm gonna ask you this question. So for you, who is the Candi Waller show out MVP so far of the first week and a half? Week and a half. We about to be a half. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. It's somebody I talked to yesterday, Percy Butler. Remember, I was talking to you about Percy.
Okay, Percy. Okay, so he okay. We talked about Percy on this show a couple weeks ago. So Percy Butler, he's
and I talked to him. We had a chat yesterday. Percy Butler. Okay. Percy Butler.
Louisiana. Got you.
Yep. Louisiana, safety from Louisiana. I really am just really digging Percy and his mentality. He's in the playbook. You could tell. Right. He's soaking it all in. He's learning from everybody.
All right. So is he playing with the ones?
Yeah, sometimes they play out there with the ones. They sure do.
He's playing with the ones.
They move him around a bit, but they definitely have.
But he plays with the ones though.
Brian Robinson sometimes goes out there with the ones too.
Oh, I knew he would though. Oh, I knew he would. Oh boy,
absolutely.
Oh boy,
and of course, and Jahan, right? But Jahan is as advertised.
Oh, I know.
That's your first round pick. I get it. Nobody.
Is Diami playing with the ones? Or he playing a lot with the twos?
He plays a lot with the twos.
All right.
They moved him around a bit, but he plays a lot.
Cam Sims played with the ones too. Did he play the ones? Cam Sims, he played
He's
with the
going with the
ones?
ones. Yeah.
Does Cam Sims
Yep.
play the ones more than Diami?
Yes.
Damn. Nope. Damn. That's what I was trying to avoid. I want Diami with the ones, man. He's like Diami too potent, man.
Cam has been out there more with the one. Yes, he has.
Diami too potent down the road. He's like the guy that's going to be a stud. Dang. Cam Sims got like 2 years of. All right, good for Cam Sims. He worked hard. He deserves it.
But Diami, he got a spot. I'm sure, right?
I mean, I want him to play with the ones, man. He should be a one dude. Like,
I'm gonna see what happens tomorrow. But I did not watch the one-on-ones today. I'll be very honest. I didn't. I was watching the offensive line, defensive line matchups.
One-on-ones are trash.
I didn't want to get into the one-on-one.
One-on-ones are trash, Candi. I'm gonna lie to you. One-on-ones are trash. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, the defense gonna always lose. Or
they always win. Yeah, it's set up for the DBs to lose for real. It's not set up for the win. It's like set up for lose, not like a real thing. DBs who win often are like, I mean, don't knock on anybody on this roster, but I mean, you're like Dion, Darrell Reeves, Darrell Green, like, yeah, you win. But when you're just a good corner, like I think Kendall Fuller's a good corner. I don't think he's a bad corner. He's a good corner. I think William Jackson's a good corner. But they're not elite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't elite, then yeah, you're gonna struggle with one-on-ones. Even the good ones struggle in one-on-ones. But sure. So before I let you go, what is Ron's vibe in camp? Like, what is his compared to the other years you've done camp? What has Ron's vibe been in this camp?
You know what was interesting? Last week, everybody was like really happy. Like day one, I kept telling everybody it felt like the first day of school. Like, I mean, we know that people saw each other at OTAs. You were out at OTAs, but it was like a real like happy. Everybody was smiling, and it was like really, really happy. And the last couple of days, it's been a bit more serious. Like, not like in a negative way. People are still, but they practicing. Like this ain't the first day of school no more.
It's real now.
I think I made a joke. I don't know if you saw it because they added a day of practice this week. They were supposed to have Thursday off. And I guess Thursday's supposed to be like a recovery day, but I don't know either. But they're practicing now every single day this week. I think while Ron, I know he will say publicly into the media, you know, that it's a 3-year plan and all this and all that. No. I'm getting the sense from and just observation and behavioral perspective that he understands the sense of urgency.
Yeah, he knows
what it is.
He know what time it is.
He knows what it is.
So I guess my question, so I guess in his practice, I'm always into this. Like, is his practices more physical compared to other years, or is it like club med?
So yes. I'm gonna just say it. I feel like I'm at an NFL team practice.
You feel like you at one?
I feel like I'm at one.
Compared to the other ones, compared to other years.
Other coaches, yes.
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing.
I'm like, okay, this is different. Everybody okay.
Okay. That's good. That's
no lollygagging. It's no, it's
real.
The tempo is
the tempo's high, and are they physical?
Yes.
They're real physical.
Yes, because
I mean legally physical though. Like I'm not trying to get nobody him up.
Well, I mean, let's go back to OTAs when Ron got fined.
Yeah.
Right? A part of me was like, it wasn't that serious, but OTAs, I mean, and somebody had to send me like the language. I got it somewhere in my email, but they had to send me the language. Like, they're not supposed to, like, they're supposed to barely touch an OTA.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, they wasn't barely touching, they was touching. And it was really like so practicing.
This is the thing is dope. Like, I feel like, and this is gonna sound jacked up. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's one.
I think he ate that 100K.
He gotta eat that. I feel like you gotta build a program.
I can't prove it, but I just because
I'm with you.
They were absolutely touching. They weren't no.
Like you gotta prove. Like, to me, when you trying to build like physicality and you trying to build a program of being physical, because Ron always uses that we got to be physical. Then you gotta get your players on the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to start smacking heads. Like, and there's a reason why I know people who listen to this show, if you listen to our Urban Sports Scene podcast show, I mentioned the Baltimore Ravens way of playing football often. And that is physical football. And you don't think they push the needle when it practices? You don't think they on that edge, man? They on that edge. Like, if you want to build that mentality, there's a reason why. Like, I say this all the time. I feel like Washington's talent on defense is it's better than the Ravens' talent. But the Ravens play with a certain mentality. They're on the edge. They practice different. Like, that regimen is real. Like, if Ron brings that regimen here, man, I'm telling you, this defense is the top defense in the NFL. So they being physical. You kind of hyping me, Candi. I'm loving it.
Yeah. They're definitely being physical. It's not. I'm not like womp womp. Like, it's not that at all. Yesterday, I kind of got into the what are we watching, because it was just not good. It was just bad.
So on both ends, or just often?
Often. I mean, the defense ripped them apart yesterday, but that was because the offense was just that bad. Let me be clear, because I think we talked a little bit about this too. Yeah. Well, or maybe I'm just getting this question a lot, and it's been in my head about. Listen, I'm definitely hyped. I like it, but I just know we got to be careful if the offense isn't performing up to par, because remember the defense was supposed to be all this and more last year. I agree with you. In week 1, and then even I was talking about this with some of our colleagues today, and they were like, "But it was Justin Herbert." I don't care.
Nah,
I don't care.
It wasn't just Justin Herbert though. It wasn't just
exactly. Him. Their O-line came
also
ready.
It was Daniel Jones too. Like, it was Daniel Jones torched them.
Right. So I was talking about week 1, and they were like, "But they were playing against Justin Herbert and da da da." I'm like, "But that O-line was ready for that defensive line. So they was not playing with them, and you could tell." Because of the practice and probably some of the challenges with O-line, they had been used to winning. They weren't used to that physical offensive line that the Chargers had week 1 last year, or just in general.
So true.
They were getting mollywopped at the scrimmage. I was there. I was looking, and I was like, "Yo, what happened? What happened to the D-line?" So I'm trying to temper the expectations, but also understanding I like the energy they're displaying. I like even the trash talk, even the hype they do with each other. Seeing how Coach Chris Harris, his energy transcends to the DBs. That's what you want to see. I do see that. You want to see that. You want a quiet practice and everything. But again, the DBs and everybody was eating so much yesterday because the offense was just that bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, you know what I would like, an ideal camp situation for me would be, like you said, Chris Harris talking trash, right? But Jack Del Rio just talking junk. And then having Jack Del Rio talk junk to Scott Turner, and then Scott Turner go back talk junk to and then because then you know you're on an uber competitive stage. Like, it's like you going back and forth. You talking to a point where folks about coaches about to come to blows. Like, because now you're building an environment of aggressive competition. Like, and that just spills over to scrimmages. It spills over the preseason games. It spills over to regular season games. Like, I would love to, because when you tell me about Chris Harris, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm Chris Harris, and I'm talking junk to the wide receiver coach. Like, yo, your boys is trash. Your boys trash. We killing y'all. Like, then the wide receiver coach would be like, oh, this is what it is. Hey, we about to dig into you know what. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, when you do that type stuff,
I be wanting somebody to pop back. Like,
like, you gotta pop back. If you don't pop back, then I'm like, yo, like, you're not building killers. And I'm sorry, lack of a better term, but it is. You ain't breeding killers out here. Like, Chris Harris is breeding killers. That's why, like you said, like, them boys flying. But you can't have dudes like Scary ain't gonna bounce. I ain't gonna just take that. He gonna talk trash. But and some of the other receivers, probably Jahan, because he feeling like that number one draft pick clout. But there are other dudes that still trying to get their confidence. If I'm like the receivers coach, I'm be like, yo, I'm like, it does something to you when your coach is like egging you on and hyping you and having your back. It does something, man. I can't explain it. I mean, I coach. I know when I get into my kids and be like, oh boy, can't check you. You got him. Get him. Kill them. And they'd be like, oh, they start smiling, they ready to go. So I don't even I'm just saying, like, I would love for that back and forth. I think that just builds a competitive environment.
Yeah, no, it Coach Harris, he want this move.
I want this. I
and
like
when they
that.
go, he won, and he's literally like,
I like
your
that,
boy,
man.
your boys ain't going nowhere.
I love it,
They ain't
man.
going nowhere.
That's how it gotta be, man.
You know, and so it's fun from that perspective when it started getting excessive. And I think even yesterday there was a point where the defense was like, "Are y'all all right over there?" Like to the office,
you gotta geek them back up. That's what I'm saying. Not Ron or Scott gotta be like, yo, like, hey, he can't guard. Like, you gotta say it loud though, not just to them. That's stupid. Like, say that so the defense can hear it. And so your players know, like, yo, you confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, you guaranteeing victory, awesome guaranteeing victory stuff, and you confident and it's us to us now to make that happen. Like, like I feel like that's the best way to go about it, because then now you breed in a whole different environment. Like you are now, your rooms are really competitive. Like, rooms are competitive, but really competitive. Like to a point where you want to come to blows. I know it sucks. It's sad to say that, but it's the truth. To a point where you want to come to blows, kind of competitive. Like you want that type of room.
Definitely, when they get too much, they'll
they'll come back
real quick. They'll be like,
bring it back.
All right, come on. But, I done knocked you down, but I'm gonna help you up. And
exactly. I mean, you can just control it a little bit, but I'm saying, like, you want to get them to a level of I'm close to the edge. You know what I'm saying? You want that. Like, I feel like you want that. Like, that's just me, though.
I mean, it's like I'm trying to see if they're gonna do a little bit of that, like get into these preseason games. I mean, and people be like, it's just preseason, but people don't realize how
they don't understand, man. They don't understand.
Preseason is. People like preseason don't matter. Yes,
it matters, man. It matters.
Watch what the championship teams do. Watch what the consistent playoffs and consistent championships teams do. Their ones are playing in the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, like, the Rams, I think they did this a little different, but they're different. So it is what it is. But they got a bunch of talent. The Rams are a whole different beast. They a whole bunch of talent. They like stock with like a Pro Bowler on every position.
Very true.
But I feel to your point that you do play in preseason games, but also, like, to me, I'm like, yo, that's how you get your core, and you get to see like guys who
Brady playing the preseason,
like young dudes who are looking for a spot, and you get to see them in game time and how they perform against competition. And that, to me, like, that's essential. Like, practices, you do not get enough. You don't get the real. That's why I do think, like, with you, like, starters should play a certain amount. Like, I'm not saying they gotta play the whole.
No, I'm not saying they play all 3
games. Play them games, man. If you ain't the Super Bowl champs and you ain't that, and you're not a guarantee, then play it. Then play. You gotta, to me, play. It don't even matter. You just play. But hey, Candi, man, this has been a dope. Before I let you go, how can folks catch you on social media? How can they catch your content? Period.
All right, let's go down the list. So you can find me on Facebook and YouTube at CWall Sports and Entertainment on both. On Twitter, it's at CWall SE. On Instagram, it's at CWall Sports. I'm also on Bowie Television every day. If you want to do and join in on the live discussion, we have the Washington Commanders update is back on Monday evenings at 7:30 on the CWall Sports and Entertainment Facebook and YouTube pages. So come bring your questions, all that, have an opportunity to be a part of the live television recording. And on Thursdays too, Lord have mercy, I forgot about Thursday show, but doing too much Commanders. That's all DMV Sports on Thursdays at 7:30, and that show is actually coming back for the next season on August 11th. So
awesome, and also you rapping HBCUs. That's all you had, Coach.
Yes,
I'm saying, my man, Coach. You had Coach Jackson.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have Coach Wilson from Coach Wilson too.
Yeah. Coach Hugh Jackson, Coach Kyle Jackson, the new coach at Bowie State. Damon Wilson, Morgan State had the women's coaches, Coach Dawn Thornton, Coach Lamont, Coach Coleman from Winston-Salem State, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville State. We had everybody, and we're going to continue to do those to have those very important conversations about HBCU sports and overall athletics, and got to get into that Power 6, 7, get one of those. We got to be a power conference. That's the goal.
Yeah, man. Look, man. HBCUs, man. It's trendy. A lot of folks want. I'm talking about a lot of but a lot of folks trying to now, like, in terms of like famous individuals, they try to now jump back and kind of show like love to HBCUs, and could have did it from Jump Street, but when you know what I'm saying, like, but I ain't want to hate. I'm glad they're getting the attention now. It deserves, as an individual who went to HBCU, I'm glad that they're getting the attention. But shout outs to like some of the individuals, because I've spoken to Coach Jackson and Wilson, dope individuals, man. Like all of them dope. They're great people. And they're running good programs, man. Especially, I mean, I'm gonna speak just locally, and it's in the MEAC. Coach Wilson, what he did in the CIAA with Bowie State, and going to Morgan State, to me, and I love how Morgan State has kind of have like, in terms of their social media content, have kind of put on blast that Coach Wilson's been there, what he's trying to do. I love their like their marketing effect of what they're doing with Coach Wilson, man, because I think he's one of the better coaches in football, man. Period. College football. Look at the track record. It's kind of an amazing track record. You know what I'm saying? So big out the HBCUs, man. I know it's not just Deion, man. A lot of people want to talk about Deion. It's not just Deion. I give Deion credit. He has open eyes for everybody. He is the reason. Like, I'm gonna give, but I'm just saying it's not just Deion. We got a lot of great coaches out there. Even Coach Pugh, Oliver Pugh out of South Carolina State, who been football. They won the Celebration Bowl. They beat Deion. You know what I'm saying? MEAC. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, like, we out here.
Yeah, we out here. And like I said, there's gonna be more conversations. We gonna keep doing it to bring awareness, and just we been here. But like you said, if Deion has to be the face of it,
that's fine.
Because he's Deion Sanders, he's prime time, perfect, awesome, cool. That's what we need.
Yeah.
But it's time to bring awareness to all of the great talent and let people know that HBCUs are an option.
Yeah, big time. It's a big option, man.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
And it's an amazing experience.
Oh my God, come on now. It's a great experience, man.
It's different.
It's an experience, man. It is an experience. You know what I'm saying? An experience. Just like, it's an option, man. Especially some of the sports that are picked out of, man. I can name you a boatload of athletes in modern football that are some of the best players in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? Like what do you think Darius Leonard went to?
Right.
What, South Carolina State?
Yeah.
Arguably the best linebacker in football.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, like, they out there, man. They really are. They out there. But yeah, great work though, Candi. Great content. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Shout out to you and Ray and others that reached out to me and was like, it was dope. That was really good. So I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, good work, man. Real talk. Good work. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything, and like our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything YouTube channel as well. Just hit subscribe, hit like on some videos. It just helps out, man. It makes the world go around, man. It really does. Hey, anyway, appreciate Candi for being on. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega, lead us out, big homie.